Did you know that new Social Security rules in 2025 could slash your benefits by hundreds of dollars? Seriously, if you're counting on Social Security for your retirement, and who isn't these days, you can't afford to miss this. We're going to cover 3 critical ways to protect your money going forward. Let's jump into it. One of our clients called and said, hey, I didn't get my Social Security check. Now, we focus more on Medicare. We're not Social Security, but we're curious as to what happened in her situation. It turns out there are new laws that went into place this year, 2025, that affect everything from fraud protection and Social Security. You may have heard about this in the news, all the way over to cost of living changes that are not keeping up with prior years that we're used to. We're going to look at all of this and find out how to address it, because 67% of seniors directly rely on Social Security to cover their bills. And 70 million seniors in some way use Social Security to offset their costs. This is a big deal. Let's jump into these 3 different changes going on right now. In the news, you've probably heard a lot around government fraud, protecting, reducing, all of that. And regardless of where you come down in terms of politics, this is about protecting your Social Security, because there are now much stricter rules around fraud for Social Security recipients. Because, maybe you've heard of 150-year-olds still getting Social Security. It's a big deal right now in the news, and we have new rules in place right now. Most of this revolves around proving who you are in order to continue to get benefits. So in order to access your online My Social Security account, you now need 2-step authentication. Basically, you may be used to this where you have to put in a code that you get by email or cell phone in order to access a website. Well, they're bringing that to Social Security. And some people will need to prove their identity if they want to continue to get benefits. So you can go direct to the office to do this. Never click on a link that's sent to you from a third party, because there's a lot of fraud there as well. Reach out to Social Security directly, either online through their site or in person at a Social Security office, to make sure you don't get taken advantage of. But some people will need to make sure to verify their identity to continue to get the benefit, or it'll just stop 1 month. It'll be stuck. There are roughly 120,000 people last year who had their Social Security interrupted. You don't want to be one of these people and finally find out that your check is not in the mail. So start the steps now, reach out, establish your identity with Social Security, make sure you're all set to avoid these much stricter fraud rules. All right, we looked at the fraud piece. Let's talk about money. This is the whole COLA increase we see with Social Security. COLA stands for Cost of Living Adjustment. And what it means is it's a boost to our Social Security payment based on kind of estimated inflation. And here's the issue we're seeing in 2025. It's not going to be as great as the recent past years. The theory there is inflation is coming down from 2024, so we can reduce the bump up we're going to get our Social Security. Well, what are we talking about? What are the actual numbers? So this year, it's going to be 2.5%. That means our Social Security payment monthly is going up 2.5% over what we were getting last year. Last year's COLA adjustment was 3.2%. So that's a huge drop in terms of the bump we're going to get to keep up with utilities and gas and food and everything else. What does this mean in practical matters? Well, for a person who makes $2,000 or gets $2,000 a month in Social Security, which is the standard, they can expect a $50 per month bump up to the amount they're going to get. That's that 2.5%. $50 doesn't go a long way, especially in California, especially in Los Angeles, right? So that's something to keep in mind, in that we're not going to get as much of a boost to keep up with the costs. Hopefully inflation continues to go down, but for right now, everyone's a little bit stretched, and that 2.5% boost to our Social Security isn't that great. So keep that in mind. That's another thing we have to worry about, I guess, or keep concerned about in 2025 with Social Security. Finally, let's talk about something that unfortunately is in the news every year. the viability of Social Security itself. Experts expect that by 2035, if things aren't changed, Social Security will essentially run dry. Now, obviously, politically, that's not going to happen. They'll figure out something to extend it, but it really brings it home right now because in the budget negotiations, they're talking about changes they can make to Social Security to help shore it up so it doesn't run into issues by 2035. Hopefully extend that out further and further and continue to do that. We'll talk a little bit about what that means for you, how to address it, but just keep in mind that politically, this is a hot button right now in terms of how do you fix the financial health of Social Security going forward? Because if they don't make changes, they expect benefits to drop around 25% by the time they get to that period of time. That's about $400 a month for the average person. That's a lot of money. So this is all the bad news. Let's talk about things you can do to actually address these three issues head on right now in 2025. Hey there, if these videos and this information is helping you, and that's what we're really trying to do, please subscribe and like. That way we can continue to bring you great information that keeps you up to date with things that directly affect your pocketbook. Let's get back to the video. Step 1, secure your My Social Security account online. Go to ssa.gov, log in, set up your two-point authentication to protect your account. Basically, it's like adding a lock to your front door. Make sure that's set up so scammers can't get a hold of your account, and don't wait for a letter to come from Social Security to request this. Do it on your own right away so you can avoid having your check stopped for any reason. Step 2, make sure the information in that account is correct. 1 in 10 people have errors regarding their income, which ties back to how long they worked, how much they made. It's very common. Make sure that information is correct and that they have all your work information so you're getting the full amount that should be coming to you. It can be 20% in terms of how much you get if you can correct these errors. You can go to your Social Security office or reach out to them directly, but make sure that information reflects your work history and income, and let's get that extra money if it's due to you. Step 3, if you haven't claimed Social Security yet, really look at holding on. Obviously, run the numbers for your situation, but if you, for example, take Social Security at age 62, it might be $1,000 a month. If you wait till age 70, it can be $1,700 a month. So that's a 70% plus increase you can get by waiting. Even delaying a year or two can boost that amount. So definitely double check the options available to you. And if you're married, look at coordinating your claims to maximize how much you get as well. You can work with the calculators at Social Security. You can go into their local office and go over this with them to find out the maximum amount you can get back. It can really boost the amount that monthly you're getting by looking at these simple options. Social Security is your hard-earned money, but you need to act fast in 2025 to secure it. So secure your online account at My Social Security or go into an office. Make sure the information is correct and that you're getting the full amount you should be. Look at delaying Social Security or coordinating with a spouse to maximize claims. Let's make sure everything you're due, you're getting, especially with the changes that are coming up in 2025. Please share this with friends, neighbors, anyone who can use the information. And if this is helpful, subscribe. And then you can check out the video we just did that can save people on average $500 a year on the exact same G plan with the Medicare supplement, for example, of many. Thank you and have a great one.